My friend said something to me before we left the UK back in Christmas last year, which has stuck ever since. And it's helped me to understand relationships better from the other person's perspective, whether that be partner, friends, family members. I thought I already knew this stuff, I knew about love languages, and I know that people express love differently. I get that. But this conversation just made me realise that I had some unconscious expectations about others. So I want to talk to you about that today. I want to let you know what that comment was from my friend and if it can help you somewhere as well, like it's helped me. Before I get into what my friend said, let's cover love languages so we're on the same page. If you've never heard of love languages before, apologies for the bikes going past. If you've never heard of love languages before, it's a concept written in a book from Gary Chapman, so you can check this out. He covers 5 ways that we can love differently, and it's about desiring and expressing love differently, so giving and receiving love in different ways. So you've got words of affirmation, you've got quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So as I go through those, do you know what you are? Do you know what you want, how you want to receive love? Do you know how you give love currently? And then the trick is to get with your partner and see if you match. And if not, it's about trying to express the way they want to receive. Yeah. So I understood that. Like, we desire and express love differently. I've come across this before. We desire to be loved one way, but our partner might not be able to express it the way you want. And that might feel like they don't love you. It might feel like they're wrong somewhere because they're not doing it right. And it's all just based on their experience, their life experience, how they were brought up, how their previous relationships were. Generally speaking, we want to be loved dependent on how our parents did it. So if we grew up with a lovely childhood and the way we were given and shown love is what we want from our partner, then that's what we'll search for. If we had parents that didn't really show us the way we love, that's usually how we want to be loved. So it's worth delving into that. I'm not going to go into that anymore. It was just to say that I understand that, I get that. But what my friend said to me, even though it sounds quite similar, put it on a different level. So to give you some context of what my friend said, I'm not preaching here, okay? I'm no guru. I don't have all the answers. Yes, I've got mindfulness tools. So I have lost relationships, both family and friends, over the last few years, especially since the likes of COVID, right? I'm sure there's a few of you out there that can resonate with that, right? So I'd lost these friendships, these family members. We'd had arguments, we've split up, we've not talked. And it was at this table while we were eating that my friend said, Carrie, maybe it's just different. Maybe it's about your values. Now, I've never really thought about it like this. He gave his example. He said, when it comes to friendships and family, I'm like you. I don't just want to have or send out a card for a birthday. I want to call that person, or better yet, go around. That's the kind of person I am. I'm similar to you. But his wife, my other friend, doesn't do that. She will do the cards. She will go a long time without speaking to her family or friends and then not think anything of that. But she still shows that value of friendship and family quite up there. It's just different. So the value is the same. It's just different. And I don't know. I don't know why that made such a difference to me, to hear it as a value, So for me, I value friendship through things like effort, consistency, initiating contact, checking in on people. That's how I show love, right? Someone else might still value love and friendship very, very high. This is what's hard to get your head around. They might still value that. but it's about showing up and being present when they are showing up. It's about helping in a crisis for them. It might be loyalty over communication. It might be giving people space. So you might get back to the love languages. You might want people to check in to show you they're expressing their love, but their expression of love might be to just give you some space, right? You see how it can be completely construed differently? So for me, it was like, they don't reach out much. They don't love me. But the realization is that their expression of value just looks different to mine, and it doesn't mean it's wrong. So what I got from this, my friend, and his example was, two people can share the same value, but embody it differently. Two people can share the same value, but embody it differently. And it was a light bulb moment. And I don't really know why that had such an impact on me, more than knowing and understanding love languages. Maybe it's because I thought values were a bit like standards. Everyone must be the same. If you value family, you must value it the same as I do, because value is like a rule, a standard. Maybe that was naive of me to think that. This is the reflection, right? So making sense of this, understanding someone isn't wrong in their values and beliefs. It doesn't automatically mean the relationship works, though. Now, this is the point. Just because we understand that they're not wrong and they just have a difference of opinion, it doesn't mean that the relationship therefore must work. Sometimes two people can care deeply, but still can't meet each other's needs. And this is something I've wrestled with. Like I said, I've had family and friends that I no longer speak to. And this has been quite paramount to get some emotional closure around it, really. So where do we go from here? Understand other people's view on love and friendship and communicate that, yeah? And in my head, from my experience, we can accept and carry on having that relationship, accept that they maybe, after communicating with them, they are just expressing their love differently. We can accept that and carry on having that relationship. That's one way of doing it. We could also understand we're not meeting each other's needs and either see less of that person or leave completely. So in my head, I do like black and white, but I understand there's grey. They're the sort of two avenues: accept and carry on, or see less and leave, or leave each other completely. Now, the struggle I have with this, because of my mindfulness background, because of Buddhist philosophy that brought me to mindfulness and meditation, I struggle with this because there's acceptance over the definition of relationship. So you kind of have to have a definition of what your relationship is, right? And in my head, it's a two-way thing. Otherwise, what's the point? If a relationship isn't a two-way thing, then what's the point? If you can give yourself all those things, which we've heard that you can do this, then what's the point of relationship then? That's a question. The other thing is that I battled with is don't give to get. So if you want love returned a certain way, you're going to give love. You don't expect to get it back a certain way. That's another way. Okay, so again, it's acceptance. Another thing that popped in my head when I was thinking about this is the sort of Christian saying, do unto others how you would be done to you. So that is a little bit give to get, isn't it? You're doing right by what you think is your value of love. Do unto others as you will be done to you. So you're doing it because you're expecting it in to be in that way, because that's how you're giving it. That's why I struggled with it. That acceptance over, your needs, and you have a right to be in a relationship and have some expectation around that. I mean, I say it and I cringe as I say it. This is the conflict in my head. I'm in Vietnam. We've just moved here. We are going to these worldschooling groups now. Not just my kids, but hubby and I are meeting friends. So this is something to consider, as we meet friends. Now, this kind of thing is probably more for longer term friendships, rather than when you're just meeting people. But it's still something to consider when you meet people, you know, I think. I've spoken about all this in other videos recently, actually. So, can Malaysia teach us to live in harmony? In there, towards the end of the video, I talked about values being a priority in non-religious people, especially because religion already holds values. Non-religious people don't necessarily have values, even know what they are. So I did talk a little bit about that at the end of that video, so you can check that one out, a bit more about values. I also did a video about does family matter anymore? Now that was hard for me to even put that title, does family matter anymore? Because I am so big on family and friendships. But it came about because of the trend, hashtag go no contact. And it was something I saw, it was Oprah Winfrey did a big YouTube video on it. And so I wanted to discuss that. So if you want to go into that a little bit more, for people that are going through this go no contact and everything, because of all these things I've just mentioned, you can check that video out as well. I'll leave them both at the end. So what do you think about relationships now? You know, anyone you've fallen out with that you've been close to, do you give to get? Do you understand that they're not wrong? They maybe just have different values, or can give love differently. They might have the same values but express them differently. Is this making sense to you in what you're going through or have been through with your relationships? I'd really love to know. Let me know in the comments. Can we accept or can we let go? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Much love. Bye for now.